America's largest indoor water park is now open in the Poconos, and you're not gonna want to miss it. Hear the whoosh as you zoom down one of the many hair-raising water slides. Feel the splash of the wave pool, the thrill of the kids' play area, or the rush of indoor surfing at Kalahari Resorts and Conventions in the Poconos. Book your stay at America's largest indoor water park now at KalahariResorts.com.
Are you hungry? Yes. I said, are you hungry? You know it. Damn it, Mark. Can I do one paid advertisement without you interrupting me? Then for the hundreds of thousands listening around the world and the millions who won't give the big guy a chance, let's get ready to eat it! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, fucking marks of all ages, Feed Me More Nutrition proudly brings to you Wake Up Unlimited Energy, Ice So Hungry Grass-Fed Prebiotic Enhanced Whey Protein Isolate, the big guy all-natural testosterone booster, and coming soon, Shell Shock Extreme Fat Burner. Premium, high-quality sports nutrition. Feed Me More Nutrition, available at feedmemore.com and now available on Amazon. And if you're not down with that, we got two words for you. Get hungry. Feed me more. Welcome to Conversation with the Big Guy. I am the Big Guy Ryback, and I'm sitting here with the one, Pat Buck.
In case you didn't understand my buddy Mark for Life speech impediment, my name is Pat Buck, and we're back on another episode of Conversation with the Big Guy, the return of Mark for Life. I'm happy he's back.
What a beautiful week it's been, outside of today's shit day, but it's Mark for Life is back. I out of nowhere, too, by the way.
Yeah, he's back. But before we speak about that, I think you have a couple things you might want to mention.
Absolutely. Stick to the format. Feed Me More Nutrition is now available on Amazon, guys. And as always, available on feedmemore.com and I'llPumpYouUp.com. If you're in the Las Vegas area, if you're visiting from overseas and you're here in Sin City, swing by Spartan Nutrition in North Las Vegas off of Losee Road and pick up your Feed Me More Nutrition in there. All fan mail, P.O. Box 752-740, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89136. Thank you guys very much for always keeping me busy with that. And we got Wake Up, It's Feeding Time, the motivational book by the Big Guy Ryback, available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and Audible form. So check that out, guys. It's gotten great reviews, and I can't thank you enough for that. We'd like to thank our buddy Nate at Takedown Piracy, which is an anti-piracy service who is protecting our podcast from being ripped off. And I know these guys have helped out a lot of people in the pro wrestling world. So if you're a podcaster or maybe you're with a wrestling promotion dealing with a piracy issue, do yourself a favor and hit up Nate at takedownpiracy.com. They're super easy to work with and get you great results. Got a couple shows I'd like to get in also here. We got German Hurricane Wrestling, GHW, Saturday, April 22nd at 7 p.m. Tickets available at ghwrestling.de, and that's going to be taking place at the SKV Hall. The following week, UCW Pro Wrestling, Saturday, April 29th, 7:30 p.m. at the Halifax Forum in Halifax, Nova Scotia.
All right.
And that's it for me.
Big Guy going international. As far as my end, WrestleProOnline.com. If you live in the New York, New Jersey area, we're going to be at Starland Ballroom with Hall of Famer DDP. We'll be there with Moose, Michael Elgin. I'm trying to remember. Hornswoggle's on the show. I always forget about him. Apologies.
Oh, piece of shit.
We'll
get into that later.
Oh, really? There's new stuff? He's running his event next week. If you want to check out ACW in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, I know he's running his big show, but he needs a little help out there.
Yeah. I heard it was a really small show, but
cheap insults. Also, May 20th, Rahway, New Jersey. We're having a show with Cody Rhodes, Colt Cabana, so much more. June 10th, we just announced last week Wade Barrett, old Fake News Bennett, will be in the house. We're going to release more people, more names that are going to be on the show. Coming up at WrestleProOnline.com and CreativeProWrestling.com. If you want to train to be a wrestler, we've had an influx of students lately, which is always a good problem to have. But more so, we ran into an issue. I can talk about this later on the show. June 3rd, we will be in St. James for our Creative Pro Wrestling events. Check us out at CreativeProWrestling.com, and I'll talk about the little issue I had this week later on with that. But and a shout out to Kevin Keenan, who has On Air with Keenan and Kyle on Podomatic, podcast that goes up every single week. Want to get that little plug in? There you go, Keenan. That's all I got. So
good. Would you ever book Simon Gotch for one of your shows?
Oh, well, now that you put me on the spot, I think the long answer would be no. And here's why. Here's the thing.
I'm interested.
If someone, dealing in the world, and a lot of people listening love hearing the independent wrestling stories. So the only way you get independent wrestlers on a show is if I book them myself, or a lot of times when I have big guests or if I have a big show, there's a lot of vendors out there that'll bring talent to a show and they'll pay them for an appearance and they sign autographs and they keep their money, or it's a split, or it's some sort of business relationship.
You kind of double dip on that, right? Like you can you can kill two birds with one stone, essentially. Like
absolutely. Because it's so hard to draw in independent wrestling these days that now it's almost like a lot of wrestlers take a booking and a half. Not everybody all the time, but for a lot of... most of your bookings have been with an autograph signing included.
Yeah.
So does it make the rate a little bit higher? Yeah, it does. But at the same time, you can essentially... You make money off the gate, and you can,
the signing.
The signing money, the pictures, the autographs, what we refer to as keeping their gimmicks.
Essentially, that's helping the promoter make money for the show by doing that. Whereas if you just say, no, I just want to come into a wrestling match and I want the rate, like that makes it much harder. They got to depend solely on the gate then to make their money. Yeah.
And for independent wrestlers that don't have a lot of exposure, they can't really command a signing because they don't have the exposure. It's nothing against them, but if you don't know who someone is,
not.
You're probably not going to get your picture or autograph. But independent wrestlers, we sell merch, T-shirts, whatever you can. And
I feel like girls can do better than guys, though, on that. Like, if you're a smoking hot girl, like...
all the time.
Every guy there can go there and, like, pay to get their picture with you, then put that up on their Facebook profile that...
Sure.
Like, hey, this is the girl I'm with.
Absolutely. That's 100% true. So, you asked about Simon Gotch. Because I think about this. When someone, is let go... I go, could I use them for my events? Because right now the well is really running dry with WWE collecting wrestlers and keeping them in fucking purgatory, not doing a lot with them. So, or giving people a break or whatever they, I'm not crapping on the company, but there's a lot of, there's not a lot of big acts.
New talent out there to like keep bringing in.
Yeah. So he's a new one. And I looked at it and I was like, I can't find a place. One, he's in a tag team, so that's a little difficult. Like if you're in a tag team, it's hard to just book that one guy. Secondly, I saw, it's personal information, but not so much. People can find that out what his rate was, and if that's the rate he wants to charge, God bless him.
Wait, what is? So this is my show. What is his rate?
Okay, so from what I
have no clue about this. I would like to know.
I received this from a few people, and it wasn't me inquiring, but it was a screenshot of roughly, I think it was around $1,500 for a single shot.
Oh, okay.
But that's really tough, and also I believe these people that are leaving, that leave WWE and ask for their release now WWE's being. I talked about this before with Swagger, that they're actually adding stipulations where they can't wrestle for a period of time. It used to be 90 days on TV, but now it's basically they're trying to control independent bookings to lower their value even more. But he'd be a tough one to bring in because you got to it's just. I don't know.
Can you use the name too, or no?
No, you definitely can't use the name. So, reputation-wise, you don't hear the greatest things. It's not like I don't really know if he's good or bad in the ring, but that would just be a hard one. However, if someone wanted to bring him to their show and go, hey, I can bring him, just put him on the poster, I wouldn't be against that. But you know, because that happens.
You use everybody. I feel like. I mean, at some point.
At some point, sure, absolutely. You know, if it's hey, they can, because that what happens a lot too is, hey, I'm willing to bring this person to your show for free if I can have table space for free, and I go, yeah, sure, and it adds to the lure of the card. But I don't think I could bring him in on my own. I just don't think that would work out very well.
Does he have a name on the independents or no?
I haven't seen anything. You know, I don't know. I don't know if it's gotten that far. I haven't seen him on any bookings really. So, you know, but it's a lot. You know, a lot of people say too. You know, I said the price, and I don't know if I want to keep that in there. I don't know if we should edit that out or not. I don't know if that's too personal. But the thing is,
no, it's Simon Gotch. We're cool.
Okay, fine. We're okay. Yeah. So anyway, but here's the thing: people don't think about. They think about that rate, and some people may go, "Holy shit, that's a lot of money," and some people may go, okay, maybe not. It is a lot of money. But the thing is that even $500 on an independent show is a lot of money, because if someone...
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if someone's $500, you're most likely paying for their flight, which you know, wherever they're from, you're paying for their hotel. If they're on a West Coast guy, such as yourself, it's a night before and night of. People don't foresee a lot of different... You know, if someone's $500, they really end up being sometimes $1,000 to $1,200, and then do the math. If $20 a ticket, how many people do you need to get to justify that person? It's tough, dude. It's fucking tough promoting, but
absolutely.
Who knows? Maybe we'll see Simon Gotch in WrestlePro. We'll see.
I'm sure he'll be there eventually.
Against you,
sharing a locker room with the big guy. How's the infection?
Yeah.
Is your leg still attached? You seem to be. I can't tell if you're sitting in a wheelchair or if you're in that sweet gaming chair that I got you for Christmas.
Oh, I love this thing, man. The desk, the chair is a hell of a gift. I appreciate that.
I just noticed it when you guys were looking for your headphones. I was like, oh, that's the chair I got.
Yeah. I mean, let's break a fourth wall. So we like to kind of set up, put the old headphones on, and I was using my... I talked about this on a previous episode. The Beats headphones, they suck. Go get the ones I have now. Gosh, I forget the name. Oh, Bose Quiet Comfort. Those are the fucking best. So I was like, fuck it. I'm using crappy headphones, the regular iPhone headphones for the show, because I can hear you better.
I still use my Beats we talked about before, where they always got it in like the bacteria on the material on the thing and like ate away at the thing, and they always break. The actual plastic on the headpiece always broke on me. I went through like 3 or 4 pairs over the course of a couple years. The Tapout WWE WrestleMania pair from my last WrestleMania in Dallas was one of the gifts they gave us in the hotel room.
Okay.
These things have held strong now for I don't know how long. So, you know, even though I'm not there, I can't say, like, the Tapout headphones are fucking good.
You use them to work out too, right? Or no?
Everything. Yeah, everything. I sleep with them with my meditation, and like the earpiece doesn't get like all it's not, they don't feel like they're as high of quality as headphones as Beats.
Okay.
But they're the sound, and they last. They're the Bluetooth, and they don't, I throw them in my bag, they don't break, and like I've been using them since I left. So I don't know where you can get them though. They're just they were free headphones they gave us for WrestleMania in Dallas, so they work great for me. I
wouldn't mind mentioning that whole tap out thing. I think it's I have a lot of the clothing. The clothing's I get it from Hawkins, but
okay.
So but I like this stuff. I feel really bad that I think they just made a horrible, like, people don't know that tap out, they got away from the MMA stuff that's like strictly fitness wear, because confusing, because it's tap out. You think tapping out, like.
It's really hard to reestablish a brand once a brand has been established. And I feel like this is just in the long line of things of WWE and Vince. Is it like XFL, the bodybuilding, Tout, and Tap Out. Like in,
Ico Pro.
3 years, Ico Pro. 3 years from now, and he's a billionaire, right? Like, so he's obviously successful, and it's not a matter of that, but like, you know, not everything has gone smooth.
No.
The Vince Googling still is I saw one of the things from him saying, like, nobody sent me a goddamn tout in 3 years or something. I go through and just read them, even if they're the same ones, I don't care.
And if it's funny, like, he'll tweet something and then retweet it 3 times just because he doesn't understand it. It's so good. So great.
He always used to be on his phone in Gorilla while matches are going on. I always was like, what's he doing on his phone? Like, he'd be so interested to like just grab it and just see what the fuck Vince is looking at.
So my infection. So basically,
I
went back the day after the podcast last week, went to the ER. It's going down. No surgeries needed. I have to be on antibiotics for a fucking month.
Which those make you feel like such shit too.
Yeah. I've been trying to over supplement myself with caffeine and vitamin C and just to keep going because 3 times a day too, clindamycin.
Yeah, I've taken that one.
It's but I could still feel a small mass, but I'm very grateful when they were just like, no, it's going down and I have no pain. I work out great now. But no amputations here. I'm back. So thanks for everyone that looked in.
So are you allowed to drink tonight or no?
I might have a little bit of. I may have a lot of Tito's poured into my Schweppes raspberry lime sparkling seltzer water.
I never heard that you can't drink on antibiotics. I mean, I usually on like pain pills, and I'm sure it's not like, they don't advise you to do it, but I've never heard of like they having a couple drinks on an antibiotic, especially I feel like at this stage of the game,
Yeah, I actually Googled that, and I've read that some of them, the one I was taking said alcohol does not interfere, but I was so freaked out, man. I was like, I don't want these to, I don't want to mess anything up. Like, I'm like, I need this, because they were scaring me. They're like, if these don't work, you're going to be, cut open. You talked about it last episode, the drink.
Yeah.
It was going to be bad.
Oh, it's disgusting. You'd be doing this podcast from your hospital bed.
Yeah, and I'd be 20 pounds lighter, missing a fucking half my leg. But no, I'm good now, and everything's fine. I probably overtrained this week, bumping around my guys like a fucking idiot. And but no, it's everything's good, man. How's your week going?
Good. Oh, going good. A lot going on. Speaking of wrestling, who I was going to say, I've been watching a lot of Jeff Cobb matches lately.
Oh, no kidding.
He's good, man.
He's a former Olympian, and there's
Olympian, right?
Yeah. He's a hell of an... He was on the show with us on Thursday.
Yeah. I met him. He came over and said hello, the WrestlePro at WrestleCon.
Yeah.
I was just I'm going to have to add him to the list. He's how old is he now?
He started late, so he's around... I think he might be 34, 35 right now.
I wonder if he's had any interest from WWE.
He signed a Lucha, so he's under one of those 7-year.
Oh, is he? Oh, really?
If you see one of those bigger guys that fuse with Cage, he wears like the big mask. I don't know the names of the characters because I'm not that into it, but I've seen their matches.
I'll go look. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's you would think so, but he's probably the new independent heavyweight darling, and I'll book that match eventually because he was a really good dude and. He did a good match with Fala.
Can we do an 18-foot ring for that, please?
Look, dude.
The 16-foot rings just...
We can get an 18...
I had to wrestle in a 16-foot this past weekend.
We can do 18-foot ring, but there better be an 18-foot ring truck outside with the Feed Me More logo on it that's paying for it. So.
And a lower rate for the show. I just do the show for free, and have a huge Feed Me More nutrition sponsor. I end up paying you like $5,000 to do the show.
Trade the appearance fee to make the ring your colors and the logo, and that'd be cool.
As long as I'm up, I'm cool.
Opponent and outcome to be approved.
To be determined. No, I had a great. Last week was busy. Had a few. Had a appearance in Wheeling, West Virginia, at the Wheeling Island Casino. We had a nice little turnout for that, for a signing. It was kind of just a free deal for the casino. It was all kind of last minute, but it was...
Not to cut you off, I think you're being incredibly humble with the you told me how many people were at the signing, and I almost fucking... I wanted to quit.
That was the following night.
Oh,
okay.
The
first night was Wheeling Island. That was in Meadville, Pennsylvania. But the following, we had a great turnout for the Wheeling Island Casino show. Mm-hmm. But that was a smaller show compared to the following night. And that following night was in Meadville, Pennsylvania. And the Hardy Boys actually were there with Ricky Steamboat and Ken Anderson, and myself. And man, the signing was almost 4.5 hours long.
Jeez.
It was like 4 hours and 20 minutes from start to finish. The Hardys probably went like 4:40. It was something else. And we got to do the main event of that one and wrestled Team Storm, and those guys were all a lot of fun to wrestle. And I posted it. We did a triple German suplex.
Do you want to explain that spot?
Essentially, it was after a comeback where one of the bad guys came in the ring and duck under, and he's only bad because he's facing the big guy, and hooked him for the German, in which he tried to fight out of it, and he grabbed one of his partners, in which I pulled that guy into the ring with him, and they conveniently hooked into the German suplex spot naturally, as that guy was frantically searching for the third teammate to grab a hold of, to try to pull to get away from me, which I yanked all of them into me with my power from a psychological standpoint into the perfect situation where I go, holy shit, I got not only one guy in a German suplex, I have 3 human beings in a German suplex spot. And if I explode back at this very minute without them knowing, they're going to actually hold on out of fear of hurting themselves to the other guy. And all of us went over at once because of my superhuman strength.
Super realistic. Very, very realistic.
It's pro wrestling.
It was good. That was awesome. I thought it was. I actually never saw that before, to be honest with you.
I'm sure Cesaro will do like 5 guys on TV now just to show me that he can do more. In which then I'll try to do like 5 with the wrong 5 guys. Just not 3. I honestly think 3 might be the limit. I don't know if 4 can be done. It took and those guys are incredible, and they're every bit as responsible for that as me. But it was like, holy shit. I had to sit back and because you could feel all the weight at one point, but then you obviously got guys with the jumping factor and whatnot. But the crowd was great for that match, and it was a lot of fun. And it just shows, I put it on my Instagram. You could see independent wrestling could draw a lot of people.
Sure can. Sure can.
2,500 people or 20, something like that. And it sold out high school gymnasium. It had more people than some WWE shows I've done.
Yeah.
So
I was just thinking about that, not to cut you off, because when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, that's a nice crowd. But if there was just one decent independent company in every state, just 50 fucking states, even fucking Montana or Alaska.
I would love to. Mark for Life actually just got back from Montana in one of his Snapchats. I would love to wrestle it. Montana has a show coming up, actually.
Yeah, I know Big Time Wrestling runs there. My buddy John Walters, I believe he's wrestled in Montana before, but not, I don't know. Did WWE not go there?
No, every once in a blue moon they'll swing by there.
Okay.
But not nearly as often as the demand. Montana is foaming at the mouth for pro wrestling.
So, but what I was going to say is, if there was just one great independent company per state, then the independents would be that could draw that well, that can filter in guys and take one booking a week. Not that it'd be a territory thing, but it'd just be a nice thing to have. If there was just places like that, but there really isn't. It's few and far between.
There's not that many good human beings out there that could be promoters to fucking do that.
Oh boy,
most promoters are,
That's true.
Oh,
I know. So,
but no, it was a fun week, and then capped it all off wrestling Congo Kong the third night. And actually, Drew Skills came out and made it a 3-way and pinned Kong for his title, and left the crowd mild. And I shook hands and went home. So,
it doesn't really sound like that fun of an evening.
It was people were great there. It just was kind of a.
There's a little bit of riffraff beforehand. I don't know if we want to delve into that in a positive light, but
I mean, I don't really know how to go into it without it. I told them what I thought in a very nice way, because the guy was not honest about a couple things and said a few things that weren't true. So
I can put it on me, actually, because basically, and I've gone back to this a lot too, being your quote, whatever, agent or manager for the wrestling stuff. I filled the schedule upon when we were ready to start filling the schedule with reputable people that I knew that drew, big crowds or that promoters I could vouch for. And I knew this guy, running in Fort Wayne. And I'll say it because people will figure it out, or I'll leave his name off it, but he runs that promotion. And, and I knew he had a lot of guys. I knew he had talent. And people have vouched for him before. So I'm okay. He's
not. He doesn't seem like a bad guy. I've talked to him before the first time go around, and it's probably too nice, which was part of the problem. So,
and there's a lot of it happens a lot in wrestling. I can't, especially with the promoter stuff, where people go, "That person's just a total piece of shit," and then I'll talk to them and be like, "Okay, they're not that bad." And then there's times where I don't think highly of someone, but I'm sure it happens with everybody. I'm sure it happens with me too. So. But he was very eager to have you, and he's like, I want to make him champion. Now, at that time, I was like, okay, yeah, totally cool, fine. And he's like, can I book him for a return date? Absolutely, that's cool. And that they were 6 months apart. I think he only runs twice a year. So keep that in mind. So now we're approaching that second booking because, I don't know how long, what were we on, 8 months? 7 months?
6, 7 months, yeah, probably between 6 months, say.
So now you're the second time there, and creatively, they had something kind of different in mind where it basically didn't want to...
Which was fine, by the way. It was just that he then communicated that I had told him something that I never talked to him about, which he was lying, which was my whole issue. Was like, wait, that conversation never happened. So,
well, basically what a lot of people like to do is they like to they think that I'm creating... just being an asshole for the sake of being an asshole. And it's not the case. I'm like, look, this is the way it kind of has to, this is the way it is. And this is what we talked about and didn't talk about. And this can happen and this can't happen. And
I'm very selective of the guys who I'm going to wrestle against. Like, I want to know my opponent and who they're going to be. And I'm honestly this part of this whole thing is with everything that I got going on and protecting my brand, that I'm very selective on the guys, that if we are going to put somebody over, that it's done in the right way or and it's communicated. Matt Hardy, we did that at what show was that?
That was WrestleCade,
WrestleCade. And no problem whatsoever, because I know Matt Hardy, we know what he's doing, and there's not a problem there, but other things too. Another thing is you don't know how other guys don't protect themselves, and this is an art a lot of guys have lost.
Sure,
that. So say we go ahead and you know what, that's cool. Yeah, we'll go do it. I now downgrade myself in that promotion slightly, and then that guy I can't protect that guy in his future bookings, and these guys go and they don't care. They'll just go do anything. Some of these guys. So that's part of my thing is just being selective, and it needs to be communicated up front. And he just handled it completely the wrong way, saying that I had this discussion with him and told him stuff that we never even talked about.
Even before that, though, it was more so unsaid, where it was like, well, since you're champion, you're coming back, you have to lose it. So to which I said, yeah, that's true, but there's creative ways to get there. Now, as a promoter, too, fans...
Which, absolutely, yeah, you discussed that with him, absolutely, too. I remember then it got even more difficult.
Yeah, here's the thing. As a promoter, you got to realize, too, and fans, I don't think understand this, and or people may have gripes with this, but you really have to put yourself into... I talked about this one time on San Robert's podcast. One time I had AJ Styles versus Rob Van Dam. Now, beforehand, too, they both had agents. They both had representations. AJ's agent, basically, at the time, I believe he was IWGP champion. I believe he was, or he was about to wrestle for it in New Japan.
Okay.
This was also a time between Van Dam was in between going back to WWE, and he was still involved and still cared and was about to go back again. So now here's the thing. I booked AJ first, and we made the agreement that, no matter what it was, he would be taken care of, and he would not be put in a situation where he had to put anyone over. Same thing with then Rob came along, and Rob's agent told us the same thing, to which I at the time agreed to. And I figured that, you know what, this is the first time I ever had this kind of issue go down. But I figured actually they would... the day of the event, that one of them would be like, it's okay, we'll figure it out. And it wasn't that. And they were very professional and very polite and very, but I realized that I have to make a decision now. and it's lose-lose. And because I didn't make the right decision, I didn't get pissed about it. I didn't get upset. They both asked me, they legit came to me, who do you want to go up? And I said, I'm not going to tell you guys that out of respect for you guys, but here's the thing. I probably would have AJ back first because he was more cost effective at that time period. This is before WWE. Yeah. They both said, okay. And then I could realize that it wasn't going anywhere, so I made the decision to have some sort of creative DQ finish with Bullet Club at the ends, fighting with ECW guys, and I had to make the most of a bad situation. But I learned from that that like guys who, such as yourself, such as the position they were in, they're not doing it. Some guys are doing it for the appropriate reasons, and then other guys are doing it for the complete wrong reasons. If that makes sense. Like, did I ever tell you about Demolition versus the Powers of Pain?
No, I would love to hear it though.
Okay. So on one of my shows, I've gotten away from this for a company that I used to run. It wasn't WrestlePro. It was my pre-existing company that I don't really talk about anymore.
Pro Wrestling Syndicate?
You said it, not me. So at that point, one of the matches we had, because look, I know people go, why would you book that? They're nostalgia. You can have a mix of everything. It's
just to hear the theme music.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like... So, and also, this goes hand in hand with what I said before about vendors bringing in people because, hey, I have Demolition in town. Okay, cool. Hey, I have them in town. Hey, why don't you guys wrestle each other? Because here's the thing, too. I know them both fairly well. Warlord more than Barbarian and probably Smash more than Axe. But they don't put people up. Even despite being whatever... They still
Warlord is legit still a monster too, right?
Did you ever see the fucking there's a match of me and him and he beats the shit out of us. We fight back a lot, but he's a big guy, man. Yeah, he's
How tall is the Warlord?
I want to
6'5", 6'6"?
No, you know what?
6'4"?
I would say 6'4" range. I would give him 6'4", but
that's a big guy.
Loves his amino acids and He was very cranky when he came here, and he's like, "Oh, I need food," and I'm like, "Do you want something from concessions?" No, I can't eat any of that shit. And
does he get like a rental car when he comes in, or do you have someone pick him up?
You're the only self-sufficient guy in wrestling, man. Everybody gets picked up. I think you know, like, you don't understand when I tell promoters, like, look, he'll get himself there. They're like, what? Or like, every now and then someone will have a friend in town, like, hey, like, I have a buddy who pick me up, but like, not many people are willing to like. He's going to get his own car and take care of himself, and he's going to get to the building.
I would rather pay. I could get all my work done, and then I don't have to just answer a bunch of questions from somebody and rely, because it's just going to turn into 100 questions when I need to be on my phone doing something or talking to somebody. And and then like I don't feel like calling, hey, Eddie, can you come get me to come take me to Applebee's? I'm really hungry. Like, God damn, I'd rather pay a couple $100 for a car and have freedom.
There's been shows where I've had, I'd say fucking anywhere between 10 to 20 past recognizable names in wrestling, and I feel like I'm a babysitter for 10 to 20 recognizable names because it's pick this person up. Hey, I'm hungry. Can someone take me here? Can someone take me to the gym? Could someone take me here so I can go get 8x10s made? I forgot this. Dude, it's crazy. People don't think about this shit. So back to the
guys,
match.
If you're out there listening and you want a self-sufficient superstar who, can draw up to, 2,000, 3,000 people and doesn't need a rental car, book the big guy at yahoo.com.
The schedule's filling up fast. I think we're filled to September right now.
Summer. Yeah, and then, this is we're good.
Yeah. So Powers of Pain versus Demolition.
Fuck, this is so awesome.
So
keep going.
Their opening match. So I write on their thing 8 minutes because they both also, mind you, when they work for me, they have like another show in the area. I think they might have had 2 shows that night.
Double dipping.
Double, sometimes triple. Oh yeah, sure.
Whoa, they're definitely old school.
So yeah, so
they're in the area. You fucking get up any booking you can.
Which you would think that they would be like, okay, cool, we've wrestled each other a million times, no problem. So now I talked to them real quick, and they're like, they didn't really ask what's going on, but I'm like, hey guys, I know you got to get out of here quickly. Here's, if you don't mind, like 6 to 8 minutes. If you don't mind, doing the honors, Powers of Pain, that'd be great. Whatever. Okay, cool. Yeah. They all agree. I walk away. I'm watching the match. It's happening. We're about 6, 7, 8 minutes in. So time is correctly. All of a sudden, they start brawling in the corner, hitting each other. Then they flip it around. So Warlord's beating up Axe. Axe flips it around. He's beating up Warlord now. Other guy comes in. They start beating up... so Barbarian starts getting his ass kicked by Smash.
Okay.
They start brawling, and then they just push the referee. The referee gets back up, then they punch the referee. Then Warlord grabs a chair and just hits the other one in the back with a chair. They wouldn't put each other over. They fucking...
Oh, man.
They decided to do, let's just do a DQ finish instead of... And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's fucking 2015, 2014 at the time, and you guys won't put each other up? I'm like... Oh.
They're not going back or anything. They're not going to TV or anything at that point. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I was just like, oh, come on, guys. And the crowd is so fucking confused. They're just like, oh, okay. And it was just one of those things. I was actually kind of like laughing to myself about it. I'm like, of course
it's actually
happened.
Really funny, yeah.
Like, that they wouldn't lose to each other. But
could
yeah.
at least powerbomb the ref. Fuck.
So that's what I mean by right reasons, wrong reasons. And
No, it was, and I talked with him afterwards, and he had his family in the office, and it was never heated or anything of that nature. But I just said, be a good person, don't lie. Mm-hmm. That's what my biggest, and it bothered me. I wasn't lying. Yes, you did. I got the message. You sent it directly to me. Like, you were lying. Just don't do that. And
to clarify that, basically he went to you saying, or he told me that you were cool with it, and he talked to you, and then he messaged you saying, like, hey, Pat says this.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that people have tried to drive a wedge in between 2 or 3 times, and it doesn't really get very far.
They don't realize we're best friends and we do a podcast together and talk every day. That I was with you when the message came through. and I go, look at this. What the fuck? And it's just, don't do that, you know?
Yeah.
But it all worked out. I thanked him for the show. It was a good time. And I almost had to drive in. The flight was canceled. I drove in that day and got there. I was an hour late to the signing because the drive was 5.5 hours or 5 hours.
Sure.
From Meadville, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area. So, but we got in. The fans were great. We got everyone done in the meet and greet. And we did business, and everything was good. So, good weekend of wrestling. I got this weekend off from shows.
Real quick to cut you off, I did get messages from both promoters, not to fucking brag, but they were very, very happy, and they thank you immensely. I haven't told you that yet, so.
Oh, no, thank you. No, that's it's always nice when they message back afterwards. And I've always said it's the meet and greets are it's very important to do good business on that and just treat people like people. Mm-hmm. And it's always I thoroughly enjoy meeting good fans because coming to the event, it's always great fans that come out. So I can't thank everyone enough for being supportive of everything going on. But I got the stem cell therapy is tomorrow, actually, from the time that this airs.
Okay.
And on Tuesday morning, and I cannot wait. I got to get this shoulder fixed. It is bad. And I got the MRI results back, and I have tears everywhere. My bicep tendon, my rotator cuff, my labrum, my rear shoulder, and then the shoulder joint is in advanced stages of degeneration.
So what does that mean? Like, is that like a like
not full tears, but I have partial tears. I guess I don't know. They have like the millimeter length on the report.
Okay,
but so supposedly, if the tears were big enough, I would require surgery first and then do the stem cell therapy. The tears have not reached a length yet where the stem cell therapy can heal them on their own. Huh. So in the doctor's words, I am the perfect candidate right now with my shoulder condition to get a full repair from the stem cell therapy. So I didn't realize this. I got to go in on Tuesday. I got to get put under.
Really?
For this, and they take fat cells, and I go, good luck finding fat cells, doctor. and then he grabbed my love handles and made me feel like a real piece of shit. I'm kidding. But seriously. And anyway, they got to take my fat cells, and then
by taking
PRP,
fat cells, how does that work? Like they Did they draw it back from like a syringe, or they cut like a little scalpel? Like, how do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I would imagine it's probably similar to like a liposuction type thing where they're able to take a little bit of fat, which I will have it taken from the love handles.
Take a little more, Doc.
Yeah. Doc, look, while we're at it, if you don't mind just going ahead and give the full fucking treatment, I'll get that. And then they will, they take my blood, they spin it, they separate it. And then what they do is they go in and he knows the exact positions in my shoulder where the tears are and inside the shoulder joint itself, and injects the cells in the blood. And the healing factors and everything that I need. And that's the first surgery, or not surgery, the first treatment. And then I go back 2 weeks later, I get put under again. This time they have I don't know how, supposedly it's not bad, but they have to take bone marrow from me, from my bone, which I would imagine is, like, I don't know where they do that at, but I know it's like some sort of laser type, like precision thing where they watch on a monitor and they take my bone marrow and then they spin that. And then this is where the healing really begins. And they said from week 3 to week 8, I will probably be 100%.
Jesus Christ. That's amazing. How long? How long is this procedure? What they say? Like how long?
I don't know. They didn't give me any of the information. I was like, I'll get in there early Tuesday and I'm going to ask a bunch of questions. But like the doctor told me before, he goes, you have no downtime. It's not like surgery. But I was like, should I be wrestling right after this?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'll find out, because the last thing, because this is costing me thousands of dollars on top of my insurance. So like the last thing I want to do is just go spend a lot of money. And then, a month from now, like nothing happened.
Yeah.
So I can't wait, because I will be better than ever after this, and my back is feeling great again, and so it will be nice, because my weight training, I have like this whole week I'm just lifting light and like just doing like 3 to 4 5-second holds, and like I'm miserable. Like I'm just like I'm not doing burpees all week because I don't want to like. I know my shoulder, what's wrong with it now, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to make it any worse.
Gotcha.
Because I've had this for years, so I can't wait to get that done. But yeah, that's about, it on that end. I filled out my application for the San Jose Fit Expo in July 29th and 30th, and I'll be doing that. So
very cool.
It's I can't wait. More information's coming out on that, and it's I got to get getting all the stuff for that. Man, that's a job in itself. Doing these like fit expos, and like I'm going to make the drive for that, which is about 8 hours from Vegas, but like I got to load up the truck or get something to hitch to the truck, a trailer, and load up all the supplements and the skirts for the tables and the pop-ups, and I got to I'm going to have to hire staff for that.
Yeah.
And have Priscilla's offered to help out. And has a couple friends.
Oh, there you go.
That would, that would help out tremendously. So
nice. All right.
What else is going on with you this week?
I've been prepping for this episode. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this coming up on a post break, maybe when we make this a legal proceeding and we have our little court segment. That's been I can't wait for that. I think that'll be the highlight of this show.
Let's go ahead. We'll take a break right here. And when we come back, we'll get to some tips, and I'll get my tips of the week out of the way, and we'll get into some wrestling news, maybe this week in wrestling.
Yeah.
and stay tuned for the big guys court.
All
we'll
right.
be right back, guys.
Hey guys, I discovered something really big. The best new way to buy business travel. It's called Upside.com. And I'm telling you, if you're not a business traveler and you know someone who is, you have to tell them about Upside. Here's why I love it. Every time you buy a trip at Upside, you save a ton of money, and they give you an Amazon gift card worth $100, $200, even $300 every time. The way they do it is really clever. They bundle your flights and your hotel together for one low price. Bundled pricing saves money, especially on business travel, so Upside gives you free Amazon gift cards for it. If you're a frequent business traveler, your company saves a ton of money, and you get thousands a year for buying your air and hotel together at Upside. Plus, you still get all your miles. You'd be crazy not to check out Upside.com. If you're shopping for business travel, it takes 3 minutes to see how much you can save by buying flights and hotel for one low price. I can't believe it's taken someone so long to do this. And check out what I've arranged for you. Use BizTrip, code BIZ, B-I-Z-T-R-I-P, and you're guaranteed to get at least $200 Amazon gift card for your first trip. BizTrip gets you at least a $200 Amazon gift card for free. How can you not do it? It's a no-brainer. Save big on travel and get a big gift card every trip. I love Upside.com. Upside.com. Minimum purchase required. See site for complete details. Enjoy the show.
And we're back. All right, guys. As always, I like to go ahead and do the tips of the week to try to offer some advice from things on my end and my perspective that have helped me over the years. And because we're more than just a wrestling podcast, even though we are a wrestling podcast. And nutrition tip of the week. Be cautious of salad dressings and sauces on chicken sandwiches and burgers. Things like mayo, ketchup, fancy sauces, and etc. Those things all have hidden calories, guys. And like regular dressings like ranch, honey mustard, all these things, blue cheese, they are loaded with fat. So unless you're doing like, for example, if you're on the keto diet, no carbs, the ranch, the blue cheese, like that, things like that are actually ideal for you rather than like the lower fat, lower calorie salad dressings typically have more carbohydrates. The things like blue cheese and ranch are higher fats, low carbs. The workout tip of the week. A great upper body stretch is to hang from a pull-up bar for 10 to 15 seconds for 3 to 4 sets. There's probably nothing better for loosening up your upper body. Everything from, honestly, your wrists, your hands, all the way into your lats, your shoulders, and your mid-low back. Just hanging from a pull-up bar, it tractions your back, and you could wiggle around up there. If you can't hold yourself up for very long, take your weight on your toes and just kind of balance your weight that way and just stretch your arms out. It really, really is a great way to loosen up the upper body. Book of the week, 6 Months to Six Figures by Peter J. Voogd, V-O-O-G-D. And that's the book of the week this week. And the quote of the week, you can't make diamonds without pressure. And that is from Grant Cardone's 10X quotes. I really like that one. And nothing comes easy in life. But you just balls to the wall, positive attitude, go all out, and nothing comes easy. And that's it for the tips of the week this week.
All right. There you go. I like the stretching one. I remember that. Reminds me of the old inversion table in Tampa.
It's another form of honestly doing inversion a little bit too for your back. You'll know, I'll do it and I'll breathe in deep and let my air out. My back will pop all the way down. It's great, but honestly, it's even better for your back and shoulders. It really, even with my shoulder the way it is, I'll get up there and just hang, and it really, really, it helps a lot.
I just remember multiple times coming home in Tampa where you'd be stuck upside down on the inversion table, just yelling for help.
A lot of the guys thought that it was like a sex contraption. I'll never forget Heath Slater and his now wife, Stephanie, who lived above us, which, by the way, Dakota Darso lived with Heath for a while up there, who is the son of Smash from Demolition. And I wanted to say this when you were telling that story about them. I'll never forget, I think you had an encounter with him outside too, didn't you? Or no?
Yeah, I believe so.
I remember just coming outside the apartment and he was out there just smoking a cigarette and Smash. And I just thought that was really funny. And,
sure.
Hey, Mr. Darso, hey. And that was it. But it's everyone always thought that was like some sort of sex machine, which I guess it could be if you really wanted it to be, but mostly for the back.
All right. So what do we want? Oh, we have reviews that we have not gotten to. I almost forgot about completely. Apologize for that. A lot of good ones came in.
Really?
Well, you know what? A lot of them came in and they didn't really write a review, but they left the old 5-star mark. So we greatly appreciate that.
Thank you, guys. We're approaching. We're about to hit. I think we've had really good numbers this week. We're about to hit 1 million listens since the beginning of this podcast. So that's we are well on track here of our goals.
Yeah, we're having fun with this, and it's turning into a little we're just going to keep doing it and see where it gets us. Great promotional tool. It's not the most listened to thing in the world, but it's certainly a success. So I didn't think it would be this good. I'm very happy.
It's in the grand scheme of I think our listens are going up every week, and
every week, yes.
We are approaching the 100,000 mark, hopefully very soon, and
the million mark.
No, I'm saying per week, weekly.
Oh,
listens.
per week, yeah, sure.
And it takes time with these things. It's just being consistent, and I from where we started to where we are now, and there's eventually we're going to be fat and out of shape, not doing anything else.
Yep.
Just doing this goddamn podcast every week, and it's going to be so goddamn fucking negative. Just fuck you, fuck everyone.
Horrible opinions.
Horrible opinions, getting 1 million downloads every week, and yeah, that's where we're going to be.
So for the reviews,
thank you to everybody out there.
There was one from Darren0731. Feed me more news. I've been listening since day one. This is a short review. How about a segment on the show about things going on in the news? I would like to hear both of your opinions on things that are going on in the news. I guess he likes the news a lot. Keep up the great podcasts. Short, sweet. But I thought that was interesting.
So
I don't know.
Let's go ahead and interrupt reviews, because I actually just messaged you this week because I go, what do you think about the United Airlines thing? Because that's going on with, and I don't think that's a bad suggestion. I actually think a little, one or two things every week going on in the news, just kind of talking about. I like that a lot, Darren, and I'm all for it. Buck, what do you think?
I think that, and when we talk about this, this will be, I don't want to say old, but I think it's going to go on because this guy it's going to be in the news for a while, and I think it's we saw everyone saw the United thing with the guy getting dragged off, but
yeah. I have a very strong opinion on this.
I'd love to hear it. My opinion was, seeing that, I would love to know the conversation that happened beforehand. I did laugh that it was a flight going to Louisville. Yeah. I appreciated that. But in the grand scheme of things, I think it was handled inappropriately. I bet you this guy's kind of a douchebag. I bet you got a little lippy.
Probably a wrestling fan.
Probably a huge wrestling fan. But one thing that stood out to me is that the fact that the airline offered, $400 at first for anyone willing to give up their seat. Then it went up to $800. No one did it, or two people did it because I think they were asked and they took the money, something like that.
They needed 4 seats. So just to kind of clarify this,
yeah.
From everything that I understand is they needed to make room for 4 seats for crew members to get to Louisville, so that they did not miss their next flight, which would have disrupted 150 people rather than 4 people.
Okay.
These airlines oversell the tickets for these planes because typically people always miss flights, and they're usually 3, 4, or 5 people that miss every flight. Not to say that doesn't happen every time, but for every flight that they sell out that 5 people don't show up to, they lose out on a lot of money on that. So they oversell flights by 4 or 5, because what they do then is offer, the travel vouchers or money or different things, incentives for people to take a later flight, which mostly people are more than willing to do out of all the people.
If that was me, forget about it. I would have had the highest amount they could have. I would have upselled them. I would have walked away with the highest amount possible and would have sat there. Yeah.
But so the airline was wrong for how they handled it, for going back and telling people they had to get off the flight, rather than they should have increased the value, I feel, and to make people more, maybe $2,000 or $1,500. They something that way that it's handled the way it's always handled. Instead, they were like, oh no, we can't nobody's taking this money, and now we're just going to go and do this. And so they were wrong on that now. So the guy had every right to be mad. But once you are not cooperative with an airline when they have their minds made up, and now you can't go in the air with a passenger who's acting like that. You can't. So they're not wrong of getting rid of the passenger, because if you're on that airplane, you don't want a guy that's not listening. Granted, he has every right to be pissed off, but get off the plane and be pissed off and take care of the business there. He's refusing to move. And now you're interrupting all these other people's travel schedule who have stuff going on. I don't agree with the way that it was handled, but you can't leave a guy like that on the plane. You got to get rid of him. And he's not cooperating. But I think everyone just looks for an opportunity to bitch and moan and whine and complain, and people want to film it. And oh my God, look how he's being treated. And like, come, guys, grow the fuck up. Quit being little bitches and little pussies. Like, it fucking sucks. Airline was wrong with how they handled it. He was wrong with not getting off the plane and handling it off the plane. Like, it's like the Meet the Fockers. You can't say bomb on an airplane. Bomb, 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 bomb. Once you fucking say bomb, you can't sit on the goddamn airplane. Like, well, that's my take on it.
No. I completely agree with you. The money thing, I think that could have been crisis averted if they're just like, all right, we'll offer $2,000. Someone would have got off that fucking plane.
Absolutely.
But the guy claiming that he was a doctor, and or he is a doctor, and that he had patients the next day waiting on him. They found out some interesting stuff on the guy. Not that it's related anything to it, but they found out he's had a very interesting past. That
Wait
individual.
a second. I don't follow the news. I just looked into this enough to talk about it a little bit. I would love to know, what did they find out about him?
So he lost his license apparently for a good amount of time. I don't know. It was 10 years ago he got in trouble.
For handing out scripts to WWE wrestlers for growth hormone?
You almost, parts of that are correct.
Wait, I swear to God, I just made that up. Wait.
Not for wrestlers, no.
Oh,
apparently he was trading, writing scripts of oxycodone in return for gay sex. Believe it or not.
Okay.
He was caught, and he was trading pills for somehow they caught wind of that. They suspended his license.
Jesus Christ.
He is a married man. His wife stayed with him. God bless. But But I mean, TMZ found that after that. Has nothing to do with the situation.
Nothing to do with the situation, though. I get it. Yeah, probably a friend of Bob's too. At the end of the day.
Yeah, probably.
Oh wow.
I was like, that's my friend.
Yeah, it's my friend. Damn it.
That's Keith from Louisville.
Patients are waiting.
So, but I don't think the airline for United has their fucking issues, but I mean, the person who actually grabbed him, I believe, is airport security. I don't believe that's a United employee, even though they're going to get the wrath of it. But it was interesting, and it was probably one of the craziest sounding screams I ever heard in my life. He hit his face. Everyone saw this already.
How did he hit it? But and by the way, just to say this also, and you got to understand, United has how many employees and these people, and we all know, we've all traveled, or a lot of us have, and airplanes are miserable for the most part, and people are miserable. You're tight, everything. It's never a pleasurable experience for the most part. Everyone seems to kind of be on edge and whatnot, but so say there were 3 or 4 people involved in this. That doesn't reflect upon the entire company as a whole. It's how they handle the situation and whatnot. But everyone blows up and I've had issues with airlines and stuff and whatnot. But you can't take the actions of a few and just say, oh, this airline is this and that, and give them an opportunity to handle the situation correctly. But I was interested in how the guy smashed his face.
He was, apparently when he's picked up, he was leaning forward, and I guess when they pulled him forward, his face went right into that the armrest and got him on the old nose. He is suing now. His lawyer came out today and claiming that he knocked teeth loose and he's getting reconstructive surgery. The guy is going to win a huge He's not going to win a lawsuit. He's going to settle with this for a lot of money.
But so my question is that I wish they would have had there obviously had to have been footage from before it escalated where they asked him to get off the plane, right?
You would think so, but I guess by that point, the argument, I'm assuming, maybe it is out there, but I'm also
I would love if anybody out there listening, to find out, if there was, sir, you have to get off the airplane. No, I'm not going. Whatever there had to have been a point from that to where then it was no, you need to get off this plane and we're going to grab you. Nobody's just. I feel like you're not just going to grab a guy right off the bat.
No, I don't think so either. You're
going to try to talk to him first. He's going to he probably had to have said no. Had he said yes, he would have got off the plane. So it's a very interesting situation. I'm not saying it wasn't handled correctly, but you can't leave a guy like that on the plane after the airline saying this is the way they're going to handle it. That's their right to handle it that way.
I'm wondering if. People heard the argument, and that's what entitled them to take their phones out. And by the time they recorded, they already missed that part. But I'd love to know that too. I'm sure this thing ain't going away for a while. This guy's suing. People are having a fucking great time making fun of United because they do have a notoriously bad. I mean, there's not many airlines.
They're one I prefer flying with them.
You prefer them. You like them. And I've met a few that overall
them and Delta are my two.
They have a very poor customer service rating amongst a lot of. I mean, as far as me dealing with them with booking flights, I don't necessarily travel all that often, but they're pains in the ass. They don't have great customer service compared to like a Delta or a Southwest or a JetBlue, who's extraordinary. But
I've had indifferent things. It's funny on airlines with my sleep apnea machine. Just this week, I don't use my sleep apnea machines on the plane anymore.
Really?
Because it became such an issue. I have like the travel one where I used to just put it on and go to sleep on the plane because it helps me sleep better. So on a lot of times, when I was with WWE, I'm getting the bulk of my sleep on my flight home because you're only getting a couple hours, if that, the night before, because there's super early flights. So when I don't use my mask, I'm typically more tired than if I use my mask. I feel great. A lot of these airlines, I can't tell you. It was I know Southwest I had issues with for quite a while. I would put the mask on and go to sleep, and the flight attendants would come and wake me up and demand me to take the mask off. And they're like, "What are you doing with this?" And it's my travel CPAP machine here. It's in the Sky magazine right here. Look, it's a travel CPAP, and like it's literally in the Sky magazine. And the lady, you need documentation that you have this on the airline. And like it finally got to be such a thing where I was just like, it's not worth the hassle of these human beings just being like just really ignorant. And it's not a reflection on the airline. It's that person. They're miserable and whatnot. And just this past week on a United flight, I was in the exit row, and a woman, the flight attendant, I fell asleep because I'd only slept a few hours the night before, and I was getting the bulk of my sleep on my flight home so that I could stay up all day. And she wakes me up in like kind of a violent way. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm up. And she goes, "Are you okay?" And I said, "What?" I go, "Yeah, I'm sleeping." And she goes, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "Nothing, I'm sleeping." And she goes, "Well, I need you to answer yes or no." And she does the question. I go, "Yes." She goes, "Are you sure you're okay?" And I just go, "Yes." And like she stormed off.
What the fuck?
I don't chalk it up to United Airlines being a piece of shit. It's just that lady's a piece of shit. And like, it's not like, it's just most flight attendants. Were you
snoring? Would they think you're like what?
No,
what?
I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm not allowed to sleep on a plane, but it's just some flight attendants are the nicest human beings in the world. And there's some that are just, I tell you, they're pure evil. And anyone that's flown knows what I'm talking about.
I do think it's funny, like picturing like you sitting there looking like a fucking Batman villain with the mask on, all jacked up, and they're just frightened. Like, what is that?
I'm not gonna lie, the lady that last week I wanted to undo my seatbelt and fucking meat hook her down the fucking aisle with, from behind. I swear to God. And like, but there's not. What am I gonna do? You know what I mean? It's fucking go right back to bed. And I hope to God I snored and pissed her off even more. All right, back to reviews. But that's my take on the United thing and whatnot. And people should quit wasting their goddamn time just fucking focusing on it.
Another one was just missed the big guy in Louisville. I hope it's not the guy on the plane. HGDC BMBV. You guys got to get better names. Come on, man. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I swear I just accidentally... I just missed accidentally meeting Ryback several times. I worked at Smoky Bones just after he left, and Sully's just after he left. I even lived in the same apartment complex as the big guy. I'm a Louisville Metro police officer now, and if Pat Buck wasn't such a drug addict, I could possibly have met him as well. Too bad, but I love that I can listen to you guys every week. Like we actually had met. Thanks, guys. I don't know if that's a role play. That can't be true. I would know who this guy is because I worked at Smoky Bones longer.
You worked there after I left, right?
I had another six month run at Smoky Bones after he left. So
he had to have known you then. Maybe he I'm sure the legend of Ryback and Pat Buck lasted long after we left there. Jimbo Slice,
because they're wondering where all the money went.
yeah. I feel Jimmy to this day, the former manager of Smoky Bones, still talking. He just texted me the other day. We are legends in his mind, and I'm sure that the legend of Pat Buck and Ryback lives on in Smoky Bones in Louisville, Kentucky, still to this day.
Oh man! So that was a. There's one more here. Here we go. Right. Feed me more of this podcast from Bronxzilla. Greetings from New York City. I've always been a fan of the big guy from back in WWE. I've been listening to the show since episode 1. As a podcaster myself, I have to first compliment your producer, which I guess would be Shining Wizards Eddie. Thank you very much. You guys,
shout out to Shining Wizard Eddie. Great job every week.
Soon to be Bailiff Wizards Eddie. You guys always sound so crisp and clear. I got the soda coupon, but I haven't found any store to use that yet, but thanks for that. And thank you for your positivity, your humor, your knowledge every week. Pat, I hope your leg is okay. And to Ryback, please keep us informed on how that stem cell procedure goes. Well, you'll like this episode then. As someone who is legally blind, I'm very interested in this as it may be able to get me, as it may be able to help me one day. Phenomenal show, guys. I'm using an Audible credit to get the Ryback's book. Peace.
Sweet. Thank you very much.
I didn't know stem cells could actually maybe help people who are... That makes sense if you're legally blind, like strengthen your eyes. Wow.
I'm telling you, the way we are advancing, it is... it's like we talked about, like back, 30, 40 years ago, if you blew out your knee, you were done.
Yeah.
Look at now, you could blow out your knee 10 times and come back every time. Like, it's... Now we have this stem cell research, which WWE guys we are seeing are getting it done after the surgeries. I honestly believe, I think Cena was getting this done before it was even. That's just my personal opinion on him coming back quicker
Makes
from
sense.
injuries and whatnot. I think, and not to say he was. I don't know. It's just my opinion. Like, it's because we're all pretty similar in how we heal. Like it's you just don't typically heal in half the time of other human beings. Yeah, there's a little bit of this and that and whatnot, but growth hormone can definitely play a little bit of a part in that too and whatnot. But I think there's some other stuff going on too, and it's great. It's not cheating stem cells. It's just a way to help your body heal, naturally. So
no, all for that. I think we all know who the winner is. So Bronxzilla. I would say you're in the New York area. You want to come to a Wrestle Pro show? It's on me. I probably know who this person is, but
send me an email to thebigguy@feedmemore.com with your information and your supplement of choice: the ISO Hungry protein, the Wake Up Unlimited Energy, or the Big Guy All Natural Testosterone Booster, and a free Feed Me More Nutrition Shaker bottle. And we'll get that out to you here. Thank you very much, buddy.
I found out my little brother was secretly taking Big Guy supplements. Didn't even tell me about it. I went to the house. I saw the Big Guy test booster. I saw the protein out.
Walking around with a rock hard erection just 24/7. Fuck yeah.
So he's on good old baby brother's on it.
He looked I saw the picture of him. I don't know when it was. He's like, is he bigger?
He's bigger than me. Yeah, he's bigger than me. Is
that? Am I not allowed to say that? I felt
no. It's fine. It's kind of like when I was little, man. All the men on the Buck side, they're all over 6 foot, 6'2", 6'4". My brother's probably like 6'1".
Okay.
And meanwhile, when I was like 2 or 4, I forget, 2 years old, they were telling me like, oh, you'll probably be around 6'2", 6'3". I'm fucking barely 5'10", and I got the short end of the stick. I'm actually 5'10" on the dot. So,
okay.
My brother is he's got the old height on me, and it kind of sucks. But oh well.
I wonder if let me ask you this: what age were you when you first did steroids? Because I have a theory. I feel like
this is what I think too. Good.
It closes your growth plates, and I believe I did my first cycle when I was at Gold's Gym, and I was 18, 19, 20, 21, between 20 and 21. And I believe I wasn't done growing yet either. Because my hands and feet, I always thought I was going to be like 6'4" or 5", and I ended up barely 6'2", so.
First time I ever did, I was in wrestling already, so I was already 17. I was 18 years old. And I think that, I truthfully think that I would have maybe got, not much more, but who knows? I could have hit a growth spurt at 19 or 20. You could have.
People go into their 20s. No, that's not uncommon. Like, I really believe there's something to that. And I think too, actually, to mention this, I actually had a run when I was even younger on when the Mark McGuire stuff came out with the Andro.
Oh, sure. My whole lacrosse team was on that shit.
I went and bought several bottles of that Andro 100 shit when I was probably 17 or 18.
Yes.
And did that. And that could not have helped. That shit fucks you up just as bad as anything else. And
I remember.
GNC.
GNC. And it had a funny taste to it. There were white pills.
Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure there was a Mark McGuire cutout. It was the cool thing. It was a real thing going on. This is why Mark McGuire is the biggest, baddest baseball player. And fuck yeah, I play baseball. I do hand grips. I like big forearms. I'm going to pop this Andro. It's just God damn it.
I remember my buddy John. You met my best high school friend, the one who was one of the groomsmen.
Okay.
A really awesome, cool guy. So we're on the lacrosse team. We start taking this Andro stuff. This is before I ever took anything. And so I'm still in high school. And I remember one day, me and my other buddy, we're doing drills, lacrosse. It's kind of like hockey in the air. And we're throwing, he's running towards us. And we're just holy fuck. We're John has tits. You could tell the Andro, made his chest bulky, but he had puffy nipples too. We're how did John grow tits? It was from Andro. And he immediately got off it. And he looks great now. But I just remember that.
Speaking of tits, who I noticed had tits this week on Raw.
Who?
Jinder Mahal.
Really?
Did you not notice that?
I think I'm just so distracted by the veins, and I feel like anytime Jinder's on the screen...
God damn it, it's a road map all over his body. I don't know whether to go left or right.
Vince Googling, can we sign veins to a contract?
I just noticed he did a close-up of his fucking chest, and I noticed it right away. I've never had that or anything. Because I don't... there's no reason to. That, is... When you get gyno, red flags right off the fucking bat, Dr. Black. Jesus Christ. That shit don't happen on its own.
So is it new or is it old? Had they not had that before?
I never noticed it before. And I like Jinder and whatnot, and he looks great, but I am pointing out the obvious, that does not fucking just happen from fucking drinking your protein shakes.
I've had a bit of that before. I remember at one point I was on a, quote, cycle in college. And here's the thing, though. Guys that use them, we have no idea what the fuck we're doing. Literally, most, I would say 95% of people who use anabolics have no fucking clue what they're doing. I don't know if you would agree with that. And
no, the majority of people that unless, so we've talked about this before. If you're going through a doctor, a legitimate board certified endocrinologist, and it is hormone replacement therapy, and it is monitored, and you are just in the normal ranges, that is just living a healthy lifestyle.
Sure.
That is an entirely different thing from just experimenting on your own and thinking you know what's best for you, because the majority of people have no clue.
And I just remember, for some reason, I didn't know what estrogen was. I knew nothing, dude. And I remember...
Yeah.
I was taking testosterone, and I'm just well, why do my nipples feel like they're on fire every fucking day? And then pretty soon that turned into tissue. And since then, obviously, I know about that stuff, but there's still a little trace in there. The kind of like The Rock had that surgery early on to remove all the
he did, didn't he?
Because he had, that's what that's from. That's not from, that just doesn't happen,
It does. It does. There's a lot of guys out there when they're younger, especially. There's certain individuals who just naturally have high estrogen.
Okay,
and that's the bitch tits, as they're called, or essentially gyno. It comes from having high estrogen, and you can get some people naturally have high estrogen where they need to be put on an estrogen blocker to naturally keep that in check. And then other people, it happens by putting stuff in your body, and you either convert it to estrogen at a higher rate, or you're doing too much of something like testosterone, and it's overspilling and causing a spike in your estrogen levels.
Okay.
So there's multiple ways, and there's a lot of shitty pro hormones and things that are so bad for you out there that can cause that too. And so there's no one way just to get it, but it typically comes from an overabundance of estrogen.
That's a terrible thing to have, man. You get so insecure. Your nipples are all puffy and, it's just terrible. Terrible, terrible.
Sensitive nipples. God damn it, I want to suck those.
So you want to talk wrestling news or anything that happened recently? I don't know what there is, but...
Yeah, no, there was a little bit this week going on with, speaking of Jinder, the Shake Superstar Shake-Up, we got the JBL Bullying.
Yeah.
And the Finn Balor concussion with our friend Jinder. So I don't, what are your thoughts on the old Finn situation? He's been, if that's true, and you never know, concussion-wise, he's been up there maybe a month total from the first two runs.
Yeah. I think it's a mix of bad luck, but I don't think they're doing themselves any favor. It's with, like, I get the appeal of Finn. I do. I think he's a great worker. Talk about someone they're really strapped into a fucking engine and really like putting out there as like the end all be all. And I think that fans are eating it up, but I think it has a huge chance to eventually backfire.
Are they? I always wonder on a global scale, like when you say that, because it's one thing to have like the
reactions,
because the percentage of people that go to the shows now, what's happening? A lot of the people that go to the shows, you got your families, but you got those your fucking marks, that percentage of them, and then you got obviously great fans also. But those people are the ones doing the chants and whatnot, or those middle-aged teenagers. And guys in your 20s and 30s. That's not always a global scale. That's kind of it's a smaller percentage. It really is.
But we can see, I'm sure we both agree, he's in that circle.
He's over in that circle, yeah.
He's that But
I think they're trying to get him over on a global scale too, which it takes time and a lot of money. And it takes having drawing power, essentially. And
I think it's very forced. I think it's incredibly forced. I think
it is with everybody now. It's because it's everybody they do that with now. It's all NXT guys.
Yeah, and this it just doesn't feel. It just, to me, it's weird having the whole 205. I hate the concept of cruiserweights. I think it's kind of a weird thing, but and I completely disagree. Like Flair apparently got in trouble saying that like Balor's just too small to. I forget what he said. Something like to main events or whatever. I don't acknowledge that just because there's been such success.
When did he say that?
Recently on I don't know where, but apparently it was on the internet, so it must be true. Yeah. So it was something like that.
Okay.
But I think that any person, I mean, Daniel Bryan probably doesn't weigh more than between the 190 and 205 pound weight. Like that's to me.
Dan was thick though. And what people don't know, but Daniel Bryan during that whole main event run was powerlifting like a motherfucker. He was in there deadlifting and cleaning. He was in the gym every day. I was in the gym. I'm telling you, he pushed himself well past his genetic potential naturally. I have nothing but so much respect for Daniel Bryan.
I love him. I hope I represent him one day.
He's honestly just an incredible human being. He works so hard, and when he decides to work, he works. So
I'm saying with the size thing, you hear that especially with WWE. It's always been they used to do it to Brett and Sean. They do it all the time, and now Finn's a smaller guy, but it's almost.
But they never did this with Brett and Sean. It happened naturally over the course of many years. Having great now they just say, "Oh fuck it, we'll give you the greatest entrance ever," and that's how they spice up guys that don't have the physical presence now by giving them extra luxuries. If you've noticed, essentially that's what they do, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, but it takes time.
I think I have a small problem. I don't know if people agree or disagree. I love his, Jeff Hardy's taller. I'm comparing Jeff and Finn, but Jeff's taller, not thinner guy, but still kind of muscular. Puts on his face paint, just like super over in that regard. Enigma.
Hardys are bigger, much bigger than what people get. Like they're big guys.
Big
they're
dudes.
Not small. Yeah.
What I'm trying to say with Finn, I don't understand. I get like on big matches he transforms into the demon, but if you're a person paying a ticket, and you're seeing Raw or you're seeing this production, can we paint him up? Can we find some people to fucking like that? That's the big lure of him. Is this like over not a very in shape. I think he's probably my height. Maybe he might even be shorter. I'm not sure. I've never met him.
Yeah.
He's probably 185 pounds. I'm guessing 180, maybe. Comes out there with a leather jacket, trunks. Okay, I get that. But like, why not go the extra fucking Boogeyman, Sting, all these? Why not give people what they want to see? You're not playing out this demon character. People want to see this shit. It's what, I don't know. I don't get that.
I wondered also, why he doesn't do the demon thing on that's the character. Like, it was like, to me, that's like the equivalent of Kane coming out for pay-per-views full gimmick and then on Raw being corporate. I don't feel like, and I'm not saying this is Finn. This has obviously been discussed where they're creatively okay with it. I'm just going to come out in my regular gear for Raw or SmackDown or a live event because it's a lot of effort to get painted up. Like, if you're going to do it, go all out, right?
Fucking get paint. I don't care if it takes 3-4 hours. That's your thing. Like, cut it out of your match time. You just want to like. I
don't want to tune into WCW back in the day and not see Sting with his face paint on or Warrior with his face paint. Like,
can you imagine that? That's the thing. That annoys me.
Yeah. I've never understood that myself. So
because. I've actually watched Finn sometimes. I'm always having some sort of wrestling in my house.
This isn't anything against Finn. I like Finn. I think
he's fucking great. Yeah. He's great. He's so cute.
So put that into your fucking report, fucking marks.
And I think he's terrific and everything. But it's just like, I just don't like. You have a chance. You want him to be in that circle. Give us the demon every fucking time. Paint him up. Let him, because I've watched with non-wrestling people before, and they've seen him do the demon cryptic. And they're like, "Oh, that's different. That's cool."
Yeah.
But when he just comes out, like,
cool.
when he comes out, and he's just like, "I'm a good
with
looking
with a random wrestler with a jacket on, like every other guy, like started just, we got to wear a ring jacket to the ring. Why? I don't know. Like, I've never understood. Like, fuck. I've always said, I really believe this. Foreigners have no concept of cool in the United States. And that's not like a shot at Finn or like, I've always said this, like, I just feel like foreigners don't understand cool in the United States. But they try, but it just never, to me, it always misses.
See, I actually think he's so cool where it's like, it's a disconnect from why am I going to cheer? If I'm sitting there with, I'm an Irish guy. I'm married to a lovely Irish woman. I'm watching this.
I don't know if you know this or not. I'm 10% Irish.
I haven't heard that. I've not heard that. I think we said that like 40 times with Wade at WrestleCon.
Yeah, I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do.
So here's the thing. If I'm watching Finn, this way great looking kid. I mean, I think he's 35 or 36.
God damn it, he's so good looking. Give him a fucking great entrance.
But just like, it's a disconnect. I could fucking cheer for everyone in the house will cheer for the demon, face painted up, all that stuff. But I'm seeing this fucking James Dean guy with the thing. I'm like, I don't want to cheer for this guy. I don't care how cool people are trying to tell me he is. Just a thing. So,
God damn it, Paul. Is he from Thunder from Down Under? Oh, he looks amazing.
I'm trying to think what else we had here.
The JBL bullying thing. What do you... I've had, I saw that going on, and I think everyone tries to latch on to something. I never personally ever had any. I always thought he came across nice. But I will say there was a period during that Ryback run where Vince was feeding him bullshit to say about me on the commentary, and he has to do his job during commentary because he's getting fed at the lines from fucking Vince, and I always knew that was coming from Vince and whatnot, but he in person and he's always been nice and respectful to me. But I'm not around him that much either. So I don't really know. It seems like a lot of stuff is coming out with him, and I've heard things over the years with him too. And my whole thing is just fucking stand up for yourself if that's going on. But not everyone's a tough guy, and not everyone has that mentality and whatnot. So,
And I mean, this is all over the Morrow stuff. Who
he's a very nice guy. I like him a lot. I think he's a great announcer too.
Morrow or JBL?
Morrow.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know what I don't know what their situation is. But I think everyone just like looks to like for just hop on the bandwagon and start attacking. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know what the situation is. But I'm just saying that I never saw him when I've heard the JBL bullying stories. I've not once seen it when my time up there. Mm-hmm. But he's also not been an active wrestler the entire time I've been there.
Okay.
So it's I don't know.
I did see Vince McMahon Googling wrote hilarious stories of JBL bullying pussies. I thought that was...
I do tend to think that the people that he does kind of screw with aren't necessarily what everyone would look at and go, oh, that guy's a tough motherfucker. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. It's just...
He also seems like I don't know him at all. I mean, I think I'm high and by before, but it seems like a brash, big, confident Texan human being that probably is a really aggressive personality and probably means it sometimes, doesn't mean it. Like, it's hard to, I don't know, man.
I think Jerry Lawler said it best is like, you got to know JBL before you can like, and if you know him, that kind of helps.
Makes total sense.
Yeah. And I would totally agree with that. And, I do remember during Tough Enough in 2004, me and Daniel Puter had to give a very drunk JBL a ride back to the TV hotel where we were forced to hang out with everyone all night. We didn't have to drink, but we had to kind of hang out and mingle, and not forced, but like Al Snow and the Tough Enough, like that was kind of like the guys hang out at the bar.
What you did,
yeah. And we were chosen to give him a ride back to the hotel, and I mean he was drunk as can be, and he didn't do anything inappropriate with us and, and whatnot. And we gave him a ride back. He thanked us, and that was it. So,
yeah, I mean, and what's going to happen? I mean, it looks like Morrow won't go back to WWE. I think it's safe to say that's probably not going to happen. Yeah. So what does Morrow do? He'll hopefully get better, and then he goes to somewhere else to be another awesome announcer. I mean, what can you say?
He'll find I think he's already working. Like he's fine.
He's fine.
So it's better for him. If it was not a good environment and things were, people don't always get along, unfortunately, and it's better to move on. And John is in Vince's inner circle, and JBL ain't going anywhere. So
yeah,
I wish Morrow the best. I personally really enjoy him. So
I mean, I saw it too. There's people obviously trying to get him fired. There's actually a petition to try to get Braun Strowman fired. That's how fucking crazy fans are, man.
I just saw something on that. Nothing shocks me anymore.
That sucks, man. It's fucking terrible.
I've heard Mark for Life actually started that.
Oh, did he?
What
was his reasoning?
Where's
Mark for Life been? We didn't really delve into that.
Fucking guy. I can't tell you how many goddamn messages I wrote to Snapchat to try to get him back. And
was I the one that broke you the news about the face, or did you know before me?
I had multiple people throughout the day message me, which made me laugh that many people know how special Mark is in my life. And Snapchat just got way more interesting to me all of a sudden. Like where I'm like, now my mind is like thinking of new creative ways to do, to introduce Mark for Life to my followers. So, but yeah, wrestling fans are just, nothing shocks me anymore. And it is what it is.
Yeah, it's almost like they pick who's on their inner circle and who's not. And if you're out, you're not really getting in. That's at least what I feel.
I did laugh. I watched that segment and I said to myself, "Holy fuck, this is going on a long time." It was like almost like it reminded me of something like from Super Dave, just like of getting killed, or Kenny from South Park just getting killed over and over again. And it actually became comical after a while, where like at first I think it had a serious feel. And also I feel like I'm more interested in knowing how the ambulance got tipped over. I'm pretty sure they had a crane or something hooked up to it and pulled it over. Yeah, the opposite way, the way that they filmed it.
Sure.
But I was trying to watch that and like look at the positioning and whatnot, and I'm like, I just watching it like that. It was, but that got Braun over really, really good. Like that.
I think he's finally coming into.
He's doing a great job.
I think he's doing a great job. Yeah.
I think and I've worked with him in the Wyatt family when he was in that role, and I know people were down on him, and he had a tendency to get comfortable because he was working with Harper and Rowan and Bray, who were well established at the time as a group, and functioned very well as a tag unit, and his role was very minimal in that a lot of times. He needed to go on his own, and since he has done a phenomenal job, so
yeah,
nothing bad to say. Yeah,
I think it took a long time, like longer but it's finally starting to,
absolutely,
people are invested, but sometimes it takes a while. So
they're putting a lot of money and effort into it, and that's what happens when you do that over time. So
we said we'd talk about it this week, but old Tye Dillinger got the all call up as the perfect 10, someone we
How long was he in developmental? 10 years?
I think so. I mean, well, actually, I wrote this down in my notes because I was there the day he got hired. WWE was doing these. They did them for, gosh, I want to say a year or so, but I think they only had maybe 8 of them. And what they were doing is they were doing these not open tryouts. You had to apply for them. I was already in OVW at the time. Okay. So this was 2000. This might have been 2005, 2006. I was in OVW for roughly 6 months. And I remember they had these tryouts in major cities. I think like the one I applied to was for the New York area. So long story short, they would pick 9 people from the applications and you would try out. What you did, we had no fucking idea. This was before This was actually before Deep South was opening.
Holy shit.
So they wanted to put people down there. That I remember. Or maybe that wasn't it. Anyway, who cares? So I apply, and I remember Dreamer called me, and he's like, "Hey, like, you're working really hard. Which tryout do you want to go to?" And he's like, "You can go to New York on Long Island, or you can go to Buffalo." Now, stupid me, I thought in my head, I went, "You know what? I'm going to go to Buffalo because I bet you there's more competition on New York." And I'm like, let me just try Buffalo. That's no big deal. So I drove 10 hours, 11 hours up to Buffalo, and different people were in charge of different tryouts. So in charge of that tryout was Kern, Finley, and I think that was it. So I get there, and it's me. It's a guy named Hannibal, Tye Dillinger. What the hell was her name? She was in Impact for a little bit. One of the girls.
Sounds hot.
She's a little Canadian girl, blonde girl. Forgive me, I can't remember her name. She was with WWE for a minute too. Chris Rombola. A guy named Turk Selleck, and I think there was like maybe 4 other people there. So, and the tryout sucked, man, or it sucked for a lot of us because they come to us like, we're just going to give you like some light conditioning, and then we're gonna see what you guys are made out of. It was 750 squats. It would be 150 squats. You have to run around the arena 2 or 3 times. Another 150 squats, run around the arena 2 or 3 times. So it was basically like 750 to I think 1,000 squats, and then all these like basic drills. I literally wrestled 3 minutes there. I actually tripped and fell down the stairs too, which was very pretty embarrassing.
Makes you stronger.
Yeah, I look like a fucking idiot. So. But a lot of the guys that were there, I think 3 of them dropped off right away. They just fucking dropped like flies.
That's why they do that, to get the pretenders out of there.
Yeah, they were just beating the shit out of us. So we really didn't get to wrestle much, but and I remember it was a weird situation. Like I wrestled for 3 minutes and that was it. And then Fit was like, "Okay, that's enough." I'm like, "All right. Shit, did I do that bad?"
Did you tell him you were Irish?
Well, it's funny because I went in there having bleached blonde hair at the time. And I'm probably the same size as Fit, and Fit's on the road. And Rip Rogers like, he doesn't want to fucking hire you. Like, why would he want another?
Oh yeah, another Irish guy on there. Yeah, you guys had Irish heat.
He actually, you know what? I'll say it here because this kind of, and I've said this story before on past shows.
I like him a lot.
And he's one of my he's in my top 10 easily. I watch him so fucking much. So I was wrestling with. They paired me up with the girl, and she was going very quick. So I would like call different reversals to her, and he yells from the outside. He goes, "I can hear you from here." And so I'm like, okay. We wrestle a little bit. I don't talk that often. for like another minute or so. And then
start beating the shit out of the girl, not talking.
Probably should have. And then
at one point, just pound her.
At one point, I have a wrist lock on her.
That sounded bad.
And I think, I just said like, okay, like, something like go behind, give me a schoolboy. Or because she was frozen. And then Fit goes, "Did you hear me, son? I said I could hear you. What are you going to do when all these fans can listen to you?" And now looking back,
do what John Cena does.
I'm looking back, I'm like, that was bullshit. That was, I don't care, whatever, I get it. And that was it. That's all I did at the tryout was squat. That's the only time I got to wrestle.
Makes sense.
Spears went in there, wrestled. Guys did good. Guys did okay. And Fit liked him, and he was hired. So he was down in development. They hired Rumbola, too, because he did the squats the best. Fucking psychopath.
Jesus, that turned out well.
Yeah. And I remember like the running joke was like, oh, because the girl did the squats better than all of us. It was just like, it was horse shit. I was like, oh, I wasted time. And then, but Spears was a good trooper and good worker and hung in there and then got, released, rehired. And now he finally gets his moment. But another story is a week later, the tryout that I skipped was the one that Hawkins and Ryder were hired on. So I made the wrong fucking choice.
I'm curious to see. I have a feeling because he had a brief run in WWE before, and I think he lost his debut match in WWE before.
It was the ECW stuff, wasn't it? As Gavin Spears, I believe.
Yeah, and he got rehired eventually, and was in developmental. He was in developmental for like 4 or 5 years, released for quite a long time, and rehired for like another 3 or 4 years.
He definitely has the record by far.
Yeah, he's him and Connor from the Ascension are the two tied with the longest time in developmental history. I think it'll be interesting to see because you see that group of guys that come up that are in that inner circle that are protected, and the other guys from NXT that come up that aren't, that are just thrown in, like the Tyler Breeze and the Vaudevillains and the Ascension and guys like that. And I wouldn't be shocked to see that go that route.
I totally understand. Yeah,
I do not think he is a hunter guy by any means or whatnot. So, but he's up there, so hopefully makes some money and I don't know what else, but
ride the wave. Yeah, might as well.
Yeah, you never know. But if you're not in that inner circle, what you do doesn't matter. So, but fans like to chant 10.
Yeah. I think he's actually mad at me because the last time I talked to him, granted, we play this like video game thing together. We're all in this like
Jesus Christ, you guys, this fucking thing is so weird to me.
The Clash of Clans. It's
of it. It's all weird. The chats and the fucking video games. I just don't get it.
I do a lot of stuff, man. But like before, when he got rehired, I think he was already living in Tampa, and he came back and he was bouncing at a place, and I needed a job. Or I wanted like a bouncing job on the weekends. So he got me hired at the club he was leaving. And I went there, and it was a club called Boomerang. And it was not the nicest place. I was like, fuck, I don't know how he worked here. It was like, it looked like, it was literally from the movie Boomerang. It was a very African-American club, but like from like the 90s kind of, where like everyone had like very flashy clothes and like big suits and it was, I only worked there one night, and I think he got mad that I didn't, I just kind of made him look stupid by him getting me hired, and I never went back there after the second night because
wasn't good for you.
It was just really tough and I don't know.
We've had some shit jobs over the years, man.
Oh, sure. Running in Long Island, which is, for those that don't know, people know riders from Long Island, but it goes Queens, Long Island. Some people that are not from New York don't understand that like Queens and Long Island is just one giant island. But as you get further on the islands, it gets a little more, I guess, affluent, and like there's really nice areas and rich areas of Long Island. There's some shitholes too, but it's been a fucking nightmare. My wrestling school, one of them is on Long Island. Okay. And we used to run student shows, and we could only fit 100 people. We started outdrawing what the building could hold, and we didn't really get in trouble, but the fire marshal wasn't happy. So we knew we had to find a bigger building. Yeah. So now I've been looking all over Long Island for good buildings, and ECW burnt out a lot of relationships with really good buildings on Long Island. So I got fucking blood or fire or breaking the building. Then there was another place. I found a perfect place to run a wrestling show. And they approved it. Like, we would love to have this here. I get a call from their regional manager. We will never do pro wrestling. And I figured out why.
Don't blame them.
No, come on, man. So in the late early 2000s, a promoter named Frank Goodman, who used to run these shows, and they were like 7 hours long, man. He would have people on the show that were, look, like when you're an up-and-coming wrestler and in a band or stuff, you do sell tickets, you try to bring people, you try to like create a crowd for yourself, establish yourself. It's just what you do. But he would have untrained guys and backyard wrestlers. Basically, he'd give them 20 tickets, and if they sold the tickets, they can be in the Battle Royal. So
Al Snow, I think, in Tough Enough brought us to one of these shows because I've heard that Frank Goodman name, and I don't know. Al was telling it was like a 7-hour show. It had to have been this guy.
You went to it?
Al Snow versus Balls Mahoney was one of the matches back in during Tough Enough 2004.
Was in the New York area? That's it then. Yeah. That's it. Those are the shows.
Yep. So I've been to one.
Holy fuck, that's crazy, man. Yeah. So this guy would have these fucking marathon. There was one time where Al was in the main event. It was him versus Raven, and they went out, and it
had to have been the show, because this was Al versus Balls. So definitely,
it was 1:30 in the morning when they went out to the ring.
Al was talking to us about all this, how this guy the student sell tickets. It's the same one, 100% the same one. Yeah.
So he had this battle royal one time, and there's fucking 30 goofs in it. And what do you think happens? A fucking guy gets paralyzed. Fucking a kid gets paralyzed in the ring. Not only that, he wasn't the last guy in the Rumble. So when the kid gets paralyzed, nobody realizes this, and they think he's just in the way, and they fucking kick him out of the ring, like push him under the bottom rope. So there was a big incident there, and from what I hear, I don't know if this is true or not, but allegedly this is true, that he bailed. I know he lives in Florida now, and he stopped running because of this one event. And this was the one building I was trying to fucking have my family-friendly wrestling show at. So I've had bad luck. I finally find a building.
That was the building I went to was a good-sized building. It was older, but it was a bigger building, if this is the one that... Yeah.
I bet you that was...
Had to have been it. Had to have been it. Yep.
That's so crazy that you've been at those. So
my roots go deep, Buck.
Your indie cred is just
indie
fucking
cred
through
just
the roof.
Keeps fucking growing.
USA Pro Show for the big guy. Wow. So I find this one building, like a sports center, and they're cool with it. They're like, yeah, we love it, blah, 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 blah. I pay the deposit. I'm happy. Tell my guys, we got a building. We're going to run a big show in June. All of a sudden they go, hey, we need your insurance policy. To which, when it comes to wrestling places, a lot of them don't have insurance. I have the fucking best insurance policy. I have two of them. I have one for one for the building and one for medical because it's required by law. So I send that over and they go, you can't be here because you don't have participants insurance. I'm like, yeah, I do. Check the second policy. That's what it is. It's participants. You need to send us the whole policy because when you get an insurance policy, you get a certificate and the actual policy is like 40 pages. I was like, you want me to send you 40 pages of stuff? Yes, we need that. I send that over. No, it still doesn't look good. I highlight everything. I circle it. I send it back. Then they're like, we just can't move forward with this. They were trying to get out of it. There was some reason that and I'm like, tell me the real reason. What, someone called the building? Are you unhappy? Like, we have a poster and there's a girl on it. Like, not in a sexual thing, but I could see people getting offended by that. Like, you never know. So fuck them. Fuck the Long Island Sports Hub in Syosset, New York. We found one in St. James. We're running a show. So it's just a fucking promoter difficulty. Sorry.
Take a negative and turn it into a positive and find a better venue and move on. And it's good to get angry and use that anger for positive motivation. So, because we all deal with that in different ways, but why don't we go ahead and take our next break right here?
I'm ready to go to court. I don't know about you.
And we'll come back with a couple fan questions.
Okay.
And then we will proceed with the big guys court. We will be right back after this.
Hey guys, I discovered something really big. The best new way to buy business travel. It's called Upside.com. And I'm telling you, if you're not a business traveler and you know someone who is, you have to tell them about Upside. Here's why I love it. Every time you buy a trip at Upside, you save a ton of money, and they give you an Amazon gift card worth $100, $200, even $300 every time. The way they do it is really clever. They bundle your flights and your hotel together for one low price. Bundled pricing saves money, especially on business travel, so Upside gives you free Amazon gift cards for it. If you're a frequent business traveler, your company saves a ton of money, and you get thousands a year for buying your air and hotel together at Upside. Plus, you still get all your miles. You'd be crazy not to check out Upside.com. If you're shopping for business travel, it takes 3 minutes to see how much you can save by buying flights and hotel for one low price. I can't believe it's taken someone so long to do this. And check out what I've arranged for you. Use BizTrip, code BIZ, B-I-Z-T-R-I-P, and you're guaranteed to get at least $200 Amazon gift card for your first trip. BizTrip gets you at least a $200 Amazon gift card for free. How can you not do it? It's a no-brainer. Save big on travel and get a big gift card every trip. I love Upside.com. Upside.com. Minimum purchase required. See site for complete details. Enjoy the show. And we're back again. Another plug I missed out on before. I totally forgot because I'm always plugging my own shit. But I'll be at the House of Hardcore, Metuchen, New Jersey. I will be wrestling for Dreamers Promotion on April 21st. And I might be there at Philly, too, the next night. I'm not really sure, but I wanted to plug that real quick. But we're back again.
Dreamer runs good shows at the House of Hardcore.
He runs great shows.
I've done a couple of them and enjoyed it. I haven't wrestled for him yet, so hopefully we can get that worked out because he runs good deals. So, and he always draws really well, actually. So,
yeah.
I think let's get to some fan questions, and then we'll go ahead and proceed with the big guys court. But
okay,
a question from Asia, a very, very positive supporter, and she goes, "What's y'all's opinion about pineapple on pizza?" His
very, very deep question.
Very, very deep question this week, and my response to that is. Pineapple's actually good for men, for their semen.
Yeah.
From what I've heard. And not that, as far as on pizza, I think it's really a shitty thing because you're mixing your carbs and your fats, and you're adding sugar, even more sugar into the mix. So it's just even like, in my opinion, it does not enhance the taste, and it just increases the love handles. So... not a big fan of pineapple on pizza, unless you are hooking up afterwards.
Not a fan either, man. I hate that stuff. What do you like on your? I can't believe if I'm eating pizza, all bets are off. I mean, I do prefer a nice whole wheat pizza, but I'm accepting the fact
Whole Foods makes a great whole wheat pizza. By the way,
do they? Okay,
yeah. Me and Priscilla back in the day had that quite a few times. It gives me a little bit of gas, but it's really good.
What do you have on your pizza? Real deep
pepperoni
questions.
mushrooms.
Mushrooms, all right.
Pepperoni and mushrooms, olives are my three. My three.
I can't get into. I want to like olives. I can't fucking get into them, man.
I am on a huge olive kick right now, by the way, on my keto diet because olives. Usually, there's black olives that have no carbs and green olives that have very little carbs. But I've just discovered, me and Rusev is a big feta cheese guy.
Oh, I love feta, yeah.
Rusev will put feta cheese on everything. And I never really, I remember the smoky bone salads, something pecan salad had feta cheese in it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know why I liked it so much. It was the feta cheese. So I've discovered now they have green olives in the store that are stuffed with feta cheese. And so now my thing is on in between meals. If I'm like hungry, I will do a few feta olive stuffed green olives. Amazing, but yeah. But I'm a big black olive guy. I love them.
Okay.
Next question is from Kevin Holleran on Twitter, and I've noticed WWE sends a lot of the heels to do local media on days of shows. Why do they not send the good guys? Seems backwards to me. When I was there, I feel like they always usually send guys that are typically good guys. Mm-hmm. And if they don't, it's because it's fake. And they fucking send guys out to go do media. Honestly, it is like, it's acting. You don't not have the villain of the movie go out and do, I get it from a wrestling standpoint, but I think we're so far past any of this.
Right. I agree.
It's 2017. It's like, it just doesn't matter anymore.
That would be funny. They can't send like Darth Vader on appearances because he's a bad guy.
Like it's 2017. It's fucking who cares anymore. There's only so much you can protect in life, and wrestling is not one of it. And in WWE's not done it any favors either. But like who the fuck cares? It's
funny.
Like I'm not watching the news. I'm like, God damn it. Kevin Owens is such a piece of shit. Why is he doing the media today? Like, I know it's fake. And he's a good guy. He plays a bad guy on TV. Cool. Yeah. That's it. All right, Kai back. Another faithful supporter. Any muscle you work out that you wish was actually bigger? And I'm always constantly. I wish everything. I'm never satisfied. I always want more. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to get my shoulder fixed to lift heavy again. I feel like a piece of shit right now. So, but yeah, it's just my triceps have always been the hardest out of everything. But I have focused on those over the years and brought those up. But yeah, everybody kind of has like a weak body part. Mm-hmm. I would say triceps are the one thing that, even though I have defined triceps, they don't grow like everything else. So
okay,
and that's it on questions this week. I honestly just want to get to the big guys court.
Yep,
the big guys court. In the world of pro wrestling, there are great fans, and then there are fucking marks. Fucking marks are negative wrestling fans who have let the negative influences of life, society, and the media carry over to their consumption of pro wrestling. They are lost souls whom sole mission seems to make everyone as miserable as them. The following fucking mark is a real-life person whom has been blocked on social media by the big guy Ryback for making a shitty negative comment. Attorney Buck will defend this low-life piece of shit loser in hopes of the big guy Ryback unblocking and giving this fucking mark a second chance at being a great fan. Without further ado, welcome to the Big Guys Court.
Please rise. The Court of the Big Guy Circuit, fucking Mark Division, is now in session. The Honorable Judge Ryback presiding.
Court is now in session. Everyone but the fucking Mark may be seated. Attorney Buck, is the defense ready?
Yes, Your Honorable Big Guy. I am the legal counsel for Twitter user @MarkCote1229.
Please state the comment of the fucking Mark made.
Well, Your Honorable Big Guy, it's just not that easy, and I hope I can explain my client's situation to you. That's going to take a rather long explanation to explain how he pleads.
The floor is yours.
First off, my client pleads 100% not guilty.
Jesus Christ.
Your Honorable Big Guy, my client is a 32-year-old bank manager from Ottawa, Canada.
Oh my
God. He has been a wrestling fan for 5 years, and actually is an accomplished amateur wrestler. Your Honorable Big Guy, with all due respect, I'm trying to explain my client's case. He does actually have a photo of himself on Twitter, and he does appear to be a normal human being, unlike most of those accused of similar crimes. The date of the offense, Your Honorable Big Guy, was approximately February 27th, 2017 at 3:34 p.m. @MarkCote1229 was perusing Twitter, checking the internet, having a great time when he noticed a conversation that arose from another Twitter user who we do not have any evidence on. Apparently, the comments was around the lines of, "Fuck Ryback, he sucks. How dare he accuse Punk of stealing his chance?" Now, Your Honorable Big Guy, I want to clear up that my client is an actual
Sounds like
fan.
a real low-life piece of shit.
Well, Your Honorable Big Guy, my client is actually a fan of the Conversation with the Big Guy podcast, and apparently the internet ran wild when on a past episode, Mr. Buck and yourself referred to a a situation with the Feed Me More being borrowed by Mr. Brooks in terms of GTS. However, my client did not start this original comment. However, he did chime in agreeing, saying that Mr. Punk did not steal your chance because he was using it on the independent scene.
What is this man's job once again?
I believe he is a bank manager from Ottawa, Canada.
Canadian. Sounds like a real low-life piece of shit. This is very disturbing, Attorney Buck. Do you have any other evidence to further proceed with this?
I do. If I can continue, Your Honorable Big Guy. Upon discovery, and after conversing with my clients, we found that he pleads that he was a little bit confused by the situation. You see, after we talked, he realized that he was in the wrong because he thought that the chant you were talking about was actually Mr. Brooks chanting his own name, CM Punk. But the chant that was in question was the GTS, which was done in the same manner as Feed Me More. Once he realized that, he did feel bad about the situation. He said he confused the chants, but by this time he was already exiled by the big guy.
Did he realize he felt bad after he was blocked?
He actually did not realize why you blocked him or he knew why you blocked him. However, he did not realize that he confused the chants because
he came to a decision before actually weighing everything out like a normal human being. Instead, rather being a judgmental fucking mark, he acted upon his fucking mark instincts. Is that what you are saying?
Your Honorable Big Guy, I would say that his fandom was very high, and he spoke a little too soon, not being properly educated on the subject. But once he did find that out, he could not find a means to apologize to the Honorable Big Guy.
I have many different forms of social media, Attorney Buck.
That is true. Apparently my clients...
A lot of fucking marks are very lazy and don't have to, the time nor the energy to actually apply themselves to other things. Had he done a proper search, he would see that the Big Guy has every form of social media possible.
He did say that he feels that he is a victim of being one of the fans that did contribute to this conversation, but he said nothing derogatory. He was just confused in information. He admits that he did. He also says that he is a supporter of you and the podcast. Regardless of how this turns out, he will continue to follow your career.
Very well. We're going to take a quick recess and we'll be right back.
All right, listen, man, if you weren't such a fucking fanboy writing on Twitter, we wouldn't be in this situation. I don't think he's going to sign your fucking 8x10, but maybe if you play your cards right, this will go okay.
Order in the court! Order in the Big Guy's court, damn it! All right. Attorney Buck, any closing comments before I determine this fucking mark's fate?
Yes, Your Honorable Big Guy. I would just like to say for the record that my client admits to acting in rather poor judgments. He is a fan of the work and what you've contributed to the wrestling industry. He is an absolute fan of the person he supported to with being, Mr. Punk. He's a fan of the business, and sometimes this passion, it clouds the brain a little bit, and sometimes you hear things that you want to hear without doing your research. So I'd just like to say on behalf of my client who admits his wrongdoing, he would really, really appreciate if Your Honorable Big Guy would rule in his favor and he can be allowed back into the Ryback 22 Twitter world, because he just misses that little ounce of positivity. He needs that light to be shine on the rest of his life. And I will lead this decision in your hands, Honorable Big Guy.
I thank you for your defense, Attorney Buck. I, the judge, the jury, and the Executioner. Find Mark Cote 1229 guilty of being a fucking mark, and he is forever blocked by @Ryback22 on Twitter. The GTS chance will never be as over as the Feed Me More chance, and he is as big as a Feed Me Moron that fucking exists on this planet. Court is adjourned. God damn it. Disgusting. Blocked forever. Well, that's out of the way.
That didn't work out in his favor, but thanks for
maybe the next person will be luckier. I remember this guy very well. This is very fresh in my memory. So no, I thought you did a hell of a job though. You got some good information, and it wasn't enough.
So I'm 0-1 in the big guy's courtroom.
He's already listening to the podcast. He's going to keep listening.
He's a good sport. Thank you for being a good sport.
Just like Zack Ryder.
Woo, woo,
woo. Who wants us to stop both. Fine. We're happy you're happy now, Zach.
You know it.
Yeehaw. Fucking
Wait,
great.
I don't know. Wait, what's the deal with Zach? What's going on with that?
Well, he wrote to me today saying we were having a conversation about I think me and Tyson were talking about something with the podcast, and Zach didn't have any idea what's going on. And I said, listen to it. And he goes, no, because you bully me. And
because I bully back the bully?
He bullies me, and then
You're
bully
my best
him.
friend, so I bully him because he bullies my best friend. That's the way it works. That's what happened with all this, by the way.
And then he sends you nice things, and then he continues on. But at least, I told him I'm happy he's happy. So,
I'm happy he's happy, too. I just can't handle negative shit. So, I just don't want to hear it. If you're a friend, be a friend. Don't send negative shit. But, yeah. No, that was Mark Cote seems like a nice guy. And, I wish he... seems like he has a family and a somewhat normal life. I can't imagine having a wife and kids and going on Twitter and writing bullshit comments on other people's timeline, but...
Let's just say we started off Big Guy Corp pretty normal. I picked a relatively normal, functional dude, and next week we'll have actually a female on.
Jesus.
But the weeks after that... we're going to go downhill really quickly.
I feel like, no, this might have been the highest as we're going to get as far as human being level-wise, brain cell-wise. So, but it's, I thought you did a hell of a job. And, with that, I mean, I'm happy with everything we got in this week. Is there anything else you'd like to end with on this episode, Pat?
No, just please, guys, you're in the New York, New Jersey area. Come out to Starland Ballroom for April 29th. A really important show of mine. They're good to me. I run 4 shows a year there. WrestleProOnline.com or StarlandBallroom.com. Please do so. But you can follow me on all social media platforms at Buck Never Stops.
And guys, please subscribe and review this podcast and share. Let's break 100,000 listens per week. And I am at Ryback22 on Twitter. The Big Guy Ryback22 on Instagram, and Ryback247 on Snapchat. You have just listened to another episode of Conversation with the Big Guy. Thank you.
America's largest indoor water park is now open in the Poconos, and you're not going to want to miss it. Hear the whoosh as you zoom down one of the many hair-raising water slides. Feel the splash of the wave pool, the thrill of the kids' play area, or the rush of indoor surfing at Kalahari Resorts and Conventions in the Poconos. Book your stay at America's largest